Dancing through the madness. It's a challenge, I've been on the edge, trying to focus on my balance. Living in a glass palace, hope I don't break, cause my thoughts are to manage. But I hope I don't panic, cause I'll escape to a place that's so out the way. Bitch, get out my way, I ain't contemplate today. Got enough bullshit on my plate. Without you trying to invade up in my space. All up in my face, gon' maybe catch a case. But let me chill a bit, my mind moves miles in a minute, and my heart moves right along with it. Tracking emotions, I was always good at physics, but for some reason I can't find what's missing. Maybe it's patience, I have a hard time chasing my tail, not knowing I'm wasting my time. But you know it's hard and I'm down here looking for a sign I'm aligned. Could you someone, Lord, it's getting kinda hard to feel my chord. Words real sharp, they could cut it like swords, so I try to listen more. But there's so many voices in this world, hoping they don't start a war. Dancing through the madness. It's a challenge, I've been on the edge, trying to focus on my balance. Living in a glass palace, hope I don't break, cause my thoughts are to manage. But I hope I don't panic, cause I'll escape to a place that's so out the way.
As I march through the valley of kings and fiends, I watch my self-esteem ever in favor of finer things. The average of the niggas round here is kinda mean. The game took many souls by promising flashy rings. Was the longevity, running this shit, not breathing heavily. I push myself cause it's a long road that's ahead of me. I play my position and use my intuition to watch out for niggas who's plotting in the distance. I'm focused on my business, minding my own. Why would I want in the song when I can shine on my throne? You know you gifted when you can slice a whole stone with just a slide of your dome. These rappers rot up the bones, look at these wimplets. Competing for fleeting shit with no meaning. Emotional.
Oh, this is my song, I just dropped it. Hold on, look at this. See that? It's a big ass deer right there. Where it go? There you go. But this my song. This song is second.
But I'm the one, baby, kinda adventurous. I see a flyer for my style on Pinterest. True, I picked your interest, fall into a different place. Blow your subconscious mind, I'm talking about the desert state. Slip up and never wake up in a better space. Serving full dinner, place of love from a center's pace. Huh? What? From a center's pace. From a center's pace. From a center's pace. Okay, walk with a different pace, with a different face, with a strong music case. Gotta separate, wake up in a better place, in a better state. Damn, I've been a elevate, finna elevate, finna elevate, let me elevate. Walk with a different face, different pace, with a strong music case, elevate. Damn, I've been a elevate. So I'm in the purgatory, switch on, turn away. Walking through the valley, tryna steal right. See my way. Step for the right, I love same thing. Split it where I'm going, I'm gonna put them burning.
So Pete, right? I'm finna talk about the 4D-5D shift and what that has to do with everything going on right now. So Pete, first thing I gotta say is today is Tone's birthday. Tone is the fucking GOAT. Without Tone, none of this shit would be possible. And, it would be like so many things would have happened without Tone. So I need y'all to send Tone some birthday love. Go spam all his shit, because he has a lot of work, like a lot of fucking work. And man, he inspired me to go harder, because seeing the progression that he has and where he's gone from where he was, that shit is so inspiring. And that's part of the reason why we even started doing this in the first place, is to inspire. Like, that's really what we was on. It's like, because we were in a place where we're like, we need inspiration. And we are so fortunate to be in a time where there's so much like raw shit going on. So we was like, man, we might as well add to the raw shit. And at the same time, we might as well like create a platform for the raw shit. And that's what we've been on, is like a platform for the raw shit. And man, collaborating with other people and just building and creating like a whole fucking movement, like for real, like a whole movement, right? But the shift, right? Hey, these deer is going crazy. But look, the shift, right? Right now, the shift that's going on, I'm gonna just be completely honest, right? It's Scorpio season, right? Scorpio is all about the darkness where everything is manifested from, right? That's Scorpio. That's the realm of chaos, right? So when you want to talk about what's going on right now, I'm gonna just keep it all the way 100, right? I'm not finna sugarcoat shit. I'm not finna try to make certain people feel better or worse. I'm gonna just tell you exactly what's going on, right? Certain people's DNA is activated. And with this activation comes abilities that the average human wouldn't have, right? And I can't say that it's only one race, because it's multiple races that is activated, right? But what I can say is that black people specifically are activated on a different level, right? And my belief is that black people were the first people on Earth, period. Every continent, even before the continent split up, when this was Pangea, right? There was black people on every continent. And as the continent started to split up, and the climates and shit changed, people get hit with a different amount of sun. I feel like it was, and the weather and the like all of these factors, right? That started to change people's DNA, and people started to look different, right? But I think it goes even beyond skin color. I think it goes into size. People talk about the giants, right? And there's even midgets, dwarves, like all of this, right? So when a black person starts activating, I'm gonna speak on it from my point of view, right? Because I'm also going through the process, and I feel like if you on the wavelength I'm on, which is like damn near everybody, like you're going through the process too in your own way, right? So look, this shit is basically you like gaining knowledge of self and going through the process of using that knowledge of self to like fulfill your purpose, but your purpose basically being the thing that brings you the most joy. So when we started doing this shit, bro, like, we didn't fucking know what the fuck was gonna happen. We didn't like, we did this shit because we really loved this shit, like, for the joy of it. Like, we really was just even before making music and shooting videos, like, we was just on some just trying to do whatever, like, experiment, do, like, push the boundaries, like, do things that normal people wouldn't do, right? And doing that is what gave us, like, being ourselves and, like, not being afraid to, like, fuck around, you know, enjoy yourself, express yourself. That's what got us to the point to where we were like, we should just film this, right? Because we just be different, like, just different, like ourselves, right? We being ourselves, right? But we doing it in a way to where it can inspire other people to be themselves, right? We including people, we bringing people in, right? So when we started doing this, it's almost like the universe responded, because it's like us putting out that level of, like, energy and what me and Tony be calling it, we say shifting timelines, right? When you shift a timeline, what you do is you basically do something that version of you presently would have never done. But you think, if it was a different version of me, if it did this, what would happen? And we basically changed our lives through this process, right? Of doing things that the current version of us would never do. But then when we imagine a different version of us, right, in a different universe, we're like, they would do that. And that could fuck around and lead to this, right? So when we started doing this, bro, the universe started, like, magical shit, like moving obstacles. And it's like, it was so, I can't even say it was easy, because it for sure was not easy. But it's like, things just always aligned, right? Things always just aligned. And when it was like, when things needed to align, they would align. And when they wouldn't need to align, they wouldn't align, right? So one of the things we have to do with the shift is being cool with not being understood, right? That's extremely important, because when you shift the timeline, when you do some shit that you wouldn't do, there's a reaction to that, right? So with the internet, one of the things that we saw was that people started, like, behaving the same way. And not like people are, like, hella different, but they are. And it's like the internet started making people feel like you got to be a certain way in order to be, like, accepted or understood or cool or whatever, right? And we were on some fuck that. We were on some, like, we finna do whatever the fuck we want to do. And if you fuck with it, you fuck with it. If you don't, you don't. But, like, you don't gotta hate on it, right? So if anything, we were on some try to understand where we're coming from, and we'll understand where you're coming from, and, like, we could create something that we both benefit from in that, right? And this is really what Scorpio is about. It's about creation. It's about creation, right? Creation out of nothingness, though, because we really started this from nothing. Like, it was a thought in our mind. What if we shoot this video right now, and then in the process of shooting a video, it's like so many things that goes into that. And through that process of like doing that one act of creation over and over again, it got us to the point where we created something like so much bigger than the original creation. And that's like kind of the point of this whole shift, is knowing like you being yourself causes everybody around them to be their selves. And it's like the more that you push the boundaries of yourself, the more that you expand and explore, it's like the world got to do that too. So we started being awesome. Yo, let's just do like raw shit. Like fuck what everybody else got going on. Not to say that what everybody else got going on isn't raw, but like we on some different shit. Like we really on some different shit. We like, let's do that. And first of all, we know what we doing is dope because we being us, being true to ourselves, and we work. Like we really work. We really practice. We really like try to get better, right? Refine the creation, you know. So really, what I'm explaining is like how reality was even created in the first place. It started as a thought, and it evolved from that into where now we have this whole world full of thoughts and emotions and creations, right? With the shift, is basically an old version of the world dying and a new version of the world being birthed. Now, the shift is basically, are you going to shift to the new world, or are you going to stay in the old world? And the old world deals with death, destruction, and all types of censorship and fucking slavery, yeah, and droughts and famines and all types of fuck shit, right? The new world deals with creation, life, love, peace, prosperity, abundance, joy, unity, collaboration, community. You feel me? Like just raw shit, you know? And like freedom, like true freedom, to where you could do whatever you want to do, and it wouldn't be no like restrictions, because right now you can't do what you want to do. And this is like one of my main points of making this live, right? When you talk about speaking and expressing yourself, there's no rules to that. And one of the things that this country and the world in general has done is try to limit black people's expression. And it's very clear, there's no like doubts about it. Like, they've tried to limit black people's expression, and it's happened so much to where now people just expect black people to like be a good nigger, like to serve whoever they're supposed to serve, and don't make too much noise, don't do too much, like. And how I was talking about activation and all of this, right? It comes to a point where enough is enough, and it's like you gotta stand up for what you believe in. Like certain shit, bro, is like really unacceptable. And for me, it's like it'd be hard, bro. It's really hard, like, to really exist in a world where you are viewed as a threat or a problem or a prisoner or a slave or whatever label you want to put on it, right? And it's especially devastating when you know that you were the one who created all of this. Like, Like, when you know that you are the foundation of civilization, bro, it's like so crazy and disrespectful for people to like not respect you as a human. Like, and this is not even hierarchy. This is not like, I'm not even talking about any of that shit. I'm just talking about facts. Like, I told you, this is straight facts. Like, I'm not arguing. I don't want to argue with nobody. It's just straight facts, right? And even when you go into the concept of what a fact is, like, a certain group of people collected money, influence, resources, and they decided that we're going to run the world in this way. This shit happened a long time ago, like, but at the same time, it's not even that long, right? And they started rewriting history and doing all types of shit like that. They created a whole plan, and they said, we finna take over the world so smoothly, and people won't even realize what's going on, because we'll have secret societies and all of these things to where, like, only a certain group of people would know, right? And how they did this was the knowledge of self is the knowledge of creation, of how this shit actually works, and the laws of the universe and all of this, right? Shit that we should be learning. But instead, they teach us what they want us to know so that we can continue to build their world, right? So, when certain celebrities, and it's not even like, because they even use celebrities to push certain agendas. But with certain people, it's certain people who purposely shift timelines, who purposely do things because they want to create a certain world. And they don't want to live in the old world no more because they're tired of slavery, they're tired of bondage, they're tired of restriction, they're tired of fear and all of this, right? So they be on something like, man, I'm gonna express myself this way. I could give a fuck about how you feel about it, right? And this shift timeline, like, this forces people to adjust. This forces people to step outside of the matrix and react in a real way instead of reacting in some scripted way, right? So when Kanye says some shit like, bro, this nigga Kanye is so funny, bro. Bro. For me, I look at archetypes, right? Because everybody got a character. And everybody got multiple characters that they display to the world, right? When you hop on Instagram, you're a character. Like, when you hop on social media, you're a character. And when you try to, like, I'm not finna go there. But anyway, your character is supposed to add to the story, right? But there's a script that is quote unquote agreed upon by everybody, right? The script is written by the people who are making this shit happen, right? But you can be your own script writer at the same time as being the actor and the director. So it's like, basically what I'm saying is you can create your own fucking reality. Like, simple. Like, you can create your own reality. So, specifically black people, certain black people, when they say certain things and the world reacts to it a certain way because of ignorance, it's like, it's weird because it's a lot of shit that people don't know. And it's a lot of shit that people think they know that they don't really know. And history is false. There's a lot of missing pieces. There's a lot of cap. There's a lot of switching certain people. There's a lot of codes. A lot of, like, spells and all of this, right? but you are real. All this technology and all of this shit is fake, right? It runs off of us. But you are the original technology, right? Your body is the original technology. So look, your DNA stretches all the way back to the beginning of this shit. And even before this shit, like before Earth was in existence, like some of us existed, right? So you can tap into yourself and you can create your own reality, literally. And you can recreate realities and you can destroy realities. Like you are a God, generator, operator, and destroyer of your reality. Like, so when you talk about this shit, bro, and niggas turn into gods and niggas realizing who the fuck we are for real, and even other people realizing who they are. But I'm talking about us specifically, realizing who we are. Like, we not playing. We is not playing, like, at all. And in order for the planet to even come back into balance, I believe that we have to take responsibility for it, because these other people don't give a fuck and they don't have an actual connection to this planet, right? So they are honestly just raping the planet. They raping the planet, and that's like what they are, is destructive people. Like, they're the reverse of us. We are the ones who create realities, and they be on some like destroying reality and sucking reality dry of all of its like life. They just want resources. They don't really even know how to utilize the resources. They don't know how to reciprocate. They don't know how to give back to nature. Like, they just be on some like, let's fucking take everything. So like with this shit, bro, when I say, some say it's on you and I say it's in you to get past your limits and break through the ceiling, like, if you don't take responsibility for yourself and your life, like, you won't make it. Like, I'ma just be straight up, you will not make it. And yeah, it's scary, yeah, it's all these things, but it's also like, are you willing to let yourself be a slave? Or are you finna take the chance and at least try? Like, that's my thing. Like, sometimes you just gotta try something. Sometimes you just gotta jump. You just gotta open a door, just so that you can experience something new that will force you into a new space, that will open up a whole new set of possibilities to where it's free. Like, it's becoming free. And like, even with Kyrie is redefining the NBA. Like, he on some like, this whole shut up and dribble thing is like, it's the same thing I said with black people expressing themselves, bro. Like, people really try to stop black people from expressing ourselves when we really are the expression of creation, of like life, of like all this shit, man. Like, so what I'm saying is like, not only black people, just let people express themselves in general. Like, and if you got a problem with it, you don't really gotta express that to them unless you feel like they are violating your space, your personal sense of self, right? Then you can say something. But at the same time, you can never force nobody to do nothing, and you don't owe nobody nothing, and nobody owe you nothing. So like, we can't be on some like trying to mob up and cancel people and all this, cause like, this shit, come on, man. You is not the owner of the earth. Like, and when you leave, somebody else will take your place. So like, you don't have a say over what other people can do. You are not a governor. You are not a judge. You are not all of these things that shouldn't even really, you should be self-governed. Like this deer right here. The deer don't give a fuck about what you think. Look, he's doing deer things. He like, I don't give a fuck about this dude recording me. But he's doing him. He like, yeah, it's my forest, you know? This is my neck of the woods. But I'm finna keep building for a little bit more. But what's good, King? I'm just over here talking about the fact that as black people, it's time for us to express ourselves. And not only black people, but I'm also talking to black people because we are the originators of this civilization. So it is our responsibility to set certain things in motion. It's our responsibility to set an example for how the earth is supposed to be inhabited, because it's people from other bloodlines and DNA strands and things like that have what they call terraform the earth, which is basically like they've changed the earth in order to suit their needs and their agendas. And as our own bodies terraform, as our DNA is being upgraded, as the sun gets hotter, nah, but this shit raw. For real, these deers be. And the thing is, like, when you in tune, like, they won't be scared of you as long as you're not scared of them. It's like, when you have fear, it's like they fear it. They feel it. They sense it. And that causes them to be, like, on edge. But, like, when you chill, when you calm, like, they'll come around. And if you really, really into it, you'll fuck around and pet it and shit. Have a telepathic conversation. But, yeah, it's our job to be in tune with nature, because nature is a technology that goes beyond our understanding. Like, it's things that the earth does to where we have no way to even defend. Like, we don't know if this shit is gonna happen, like, on a schedule. Like, earthquake could happen right fucking now, and we couldn't do shit about it. We would just be like, holy shit. Or a fucking tsunami or a tornado or lightning. Like, it's so many phenomena. Even the way the trees grow. Like, if we didn't have trees, bro, if we didn't have flowers, if we didn't have fruit, we wouldn't have none of this shit. Like, and this shit happens naturally. Like, we don't have to, like, when you're aligned with the earth and the stars and the moon, right, and the sun, your body starts to follow a certain rhythm, and you will know to do certain things at certain times, and you won't need somebody to tell you. And this is what I'm saying with knowledge of self. Like, you will start to move in a certain way to where you will know what you got to do next. You won't be confused. You won't be looking on the internet. You won't be looking to other people. You won't be like, you will know certain things. And it's going to be tricky if you try to, like, validate what you know against what somebody else is telling you, because yes, you have to consider other perspectives, but at the same time, is your life, is your experience. So you got to decide, like, ultimately, like, what am I finna do? Am I finna be me and live in my truth? Or am I finna cat and live a lie and constantly have to worry about expectations and fucking all this cap shit that has no real purpose when you're trying to build. When you're trying to tear down people, of course, you could bring up all types of shit. You could, she, man, But it's like, and this is why Kanye is so important. Y'all gotta understand, this life thing is not so much about individuals, but more about the story as a whole, right? So even if y'all don't like certain people aren't necessary in order to push this story to where it needs to go, right? So look, when Kanye he said, you don't have to answer, Sway. He said, you don't have to answer, Sway. So he was like, Kanye, calm down. He said, no. He said, you ain't been doing the educated. And Sway was like, no, but I got a little company. Kanye's like, no, it's not big enough. So y'all gotta understand, bro. Kanye has always been a person that wants to do the fucking most, like, pushing the boundary shit at all times, right? That's him as a person. So, as a black person, he couldn't express himself the way he wanted to at a certain point because people don't respect black people in the world. It's not even limited to America, but especially in America. No, matter of fact, in the world, people don't respect black people unless they have a certain amount of money or degrees or fucking things that certain people have created to say that you are successful or you are a functioning member of society, whatever they want to say, right? But, bro, like I'm telling y'all, this shit wouldn't exist without us. Like, it would not exist. So when they be on that, Kanye is like, you know what? All right, I gotta fuck with these people in order to gain a bigger influence and audience so that I can actually influence the world, right? And what he been saying, he be on some like, you think it's about money or power? He say it's about position. And it's truth to that, right? Because you want to be in the position to do certain things. Like, you want to be in the position to create generational wealth for your family. You want to put your family members in position to create wealth for themselves, your friends. Like, you want to be in position to where somebody can't move you from there. Somebody can't say, oh, you can't do that because you have this. And that's like the point of this shit. Is like, you want to create your own position in this society. You don't want somebody to create a position for you to where you got to follow these rules and you can't do this. You can't express yourself like this. You got to wear your hair like this. You can't wear this. You can't do this. You can't do that. But you got to do this and you got to do that. And if you don't, then we'll fire your ass and you'll be... Come on, man. Like, we not supposed to be doing this dumbass shit on this planet right now. It's basically slavery. Like, making these corporations rich and we just reincarnating over and over again, doing the same dumb shit as working for some god or some entity or some force, right? Bro, we are supposed to be the ones having sovereignty and being able to build how we want to build with each other. And, bro, we could really, like, make the world into a place that is much better than it is now. But it's up to us to do it. And one of the things that we've realized is that music and art and creation and expression is important, because when you speak with your throat chakra, you create reality, literally. So when they come with this I Can't Breathe thing in 2020 and this whole buddy who Kanye is talking about, this whole thing, right? See, there's certain things I don't even want to say, right? But what I'm going to say is, once the media figured out that they could further traumatize black people and put stress on black people's genetics and DNA in order to make certain subconscious memories resurface and subconscious trauma resurface, they basically started purposely pushing a narrative of white people dominating black people and black people not being able to do anything about it. And they do this through so many ways. But my point is that Kanye is basically saying, and not only Kanye, it's a lot of people who are saying this right now. It's just they don't be showing it because they be censoring shit. And this is my other thing, bro. When they be censoring shit and censoring people and not letting people do certain things and express themselves in certain ways, that shit be pissing me off. And it's happening more and more because of the internet and people thinking that you got to be a certain way. Bro, it's people who are like completely different than you, and you could still interact with them. Like, you don't got to be on some like, oh no, anyway, these people are fighting for freedom, bro. Like, literally fighting for the fact that we're tired of having to conform and having to do certain shit even though we know it's destructive. Like, it's things that we do that we know are destructive, but we keep doing them because we keep telling ourselves it's the only way to do it, when we know is more ways to do it. Like, we know it. And they be on some like, oh, you know, we developing the technology. Bro, them niggas is not doing shit. And they know they're not doing shit, and they don't even know how to do what they think they're trying to do. So they just doing a bunch of random shit, and they fucking up the world because they don't have much time. Their time is coming to an end, and our time is starting. So what I'm on is on some like, it's time. Like, fuck all the dumb shit. Fuck all the cap. Fuck all the scary shit. Fuck all the judgment and the hate and the fear. Man, it's time for love. It's time for prosperity and abundance and peace. You know, wealth. You know, world peace. No more hunger. Like, and the fact, this is something I gotta stress, right? The fact that I'm saying this right now means it already happened. And you will understand that as soon as you express a certain reality, it already exists. And it's all about you choosing to exist in that reality as much as possible. Thank you. And the more that you choose to exist in this reality, it's like a video game. It's like the more you put time into it, the better you get at it, right? The more you refine it, and the more you are able to create better versions of self. And right now we're in the process of going from a 3D self to a 4D self, and then from a 4D self to a 5D self. And it's a beautiful process. It's scary. It's different. It's new. But we got the power. We got the protection. We got the guidance. You know, today is Halloween. Today is the day where the spirit realm is very close to us. So, you know, communicate with your ancestors in whichever way you feel fit. But one thing you got to know is that when they say things like communicating with your ancestors and shit like that, they make it sound so like hard and spooky and complicated. Bro, if you talk to your parents, you communicating with your ancestors. If you listen to certain music, you communicating with your ancestors. When you meditate, communicating with your ancestors. When you drink water, when you breathe air, when you move your body, when you do all these things, when you dance, when you sing, when you create, you communicating with your ancestors. You are in constant communication with your ancestors, and they can never cut you off from that. they are not in communication with their ancestors because they don't have no ancestors. They are not organic to this earth. So the way that they trying to tap in and figure out who they are is through technology. And technology, it traps you. It traps you in simulations and simulated realities. But the more that you tap in to your organic technology, this will happen to where you won't be trapped. You will be free to explore, free to express, free to do whatever you want to do. It's like true freedom, and that's what we're really looking for. It's true freedom. And that's why I do what I do. That's why we do what we do. And shit, that's why we here, is to be free. This planet was originally a school. It was a big ass school, and you would just learn, and you could stay however long you wanted to. You would just come here, you would learn, and then you would go to another planet or another star or another whatever galaxy, right? But we started to forget who we were. And when we started to do that, other people started convincing us that we were something that we weren't. And when this happened, they basically tricked us into giving up our power and our position. And shit, we just had enough of that. So anyway, this 2 T video that me and Tone finna drop. Shit finna change everything. Shift timelines, all types of shit, right? I'm gonna drop some more music soon. More shit coming. Man, we going up. And it's like that. Peace, prosperity, protection.